Hello and welcome to another speed build. This is a shell challenge for Aveline Sims. Um, the shell challenge she did was a tiny home shell challenge. So it's a 64 tiles, which is a tier 2 tiny home. I should really know those names and the tiers by now, but I still have to look it up. Um, and straight away I knew that I wanted to have a floating deck area on a lake, but other than that, I didn't have anything in mind. So I made this left-hand side into that deck, but the rest of it was just trying to figure out how I wanted to look. It ended up looking sort of mid-century modern, but I didn't plan for that. It just sort of, as I went along, this is how it turned out and what I was feeling to do with the space. And I added a garden. It just seemed to suit with the lake, but also I thought the person living there, like a tiny home on a lake, probably a bit bohemian maybe, and would want um gardening and living off the land and sustainability. So it just seemed to work to add a little plant garden to grow things. And I've actually had this build and the video itself edited for a couple of weeks now, but I've once again just been putting off doing the voiceover. I really don't like doing them, but like I said in my previous video, I prefer to watch videos with voiceovers. I find like I learn more, so that's why I want to keep doing it, but we'll have to see because I really, really do hate doing them and I do put off um recording. So I've got about 4 builds that um I haven't gotten any further with in terms of editing videos because I've been delaying doing the voiceover for this one. Um so yeah, that's something I need to work on. Um I don't know how much longer I'm gonna talk with this one. I find with Shell Challenge speed builds because I'm working off somebody else's idea, making it work, that I've got less to say where it's not an idea that I personally had and come up with. So yeah, I might not talk for that much longer. And with this, I wanted to do a lot of plants and a lot of clutter. It just seemed fitting with one, designing around a bohemian type person, but then also in as a nod to Aveline herself because she does do a lot of clutter and a lot of plants in her bills. So yeah, I just wanted to have that little nod, and it seemed like the right opportunity to try and clutter as much and to fit in as many plants as possible. And I also want to apologise if this speed build was a bit jerkier than normal or just like lots of movement and spinning around because one, using like small rooms, it's really difficult to not clip through the walls and things like that. So it was like moving around a lot out of my control. And then also, this was the first time I'd started using the Sims 3 camera. So if you don't know, if you click the little camera sign, you can switch to Sims 3 camera mode. And then if you hold down your mouse scroll button, you can rotate the angle instead of just sticking to the standard Sims 4 camera, which is just overhead and sort of like at an angle above. And it's much better for building. I was able to put lights into the cabinets in the kitchen cabinets um without having to guess that they were in the right place. So yeah, it made a huge difference. But because it was my first time using it, and it was a tiny shell, so the rooms were small. Yeah, it was a bit jerkier than how I would have liked it. I tried to edit it out as much as possible, um, but it was still quite jerky. Um, at the moment in the build, I'm trying to fit in a lot washing machine and tumble dryer. I do get rid of that and decide not to bother with any laundry items at all. Um, it's just it was a bit difficult to get it to work. I couldn't get a good place for the hamper, um, and the washing machines, and for it not to be seems to actually be able to work it when I play tested it. So yeah, I do play test all my builds. Some of the times I make changes after I've play tested, and then they don't work, and usually that's the point where I've uploaded to the gallery. So I've just done another build, which I'm really excited to share, and that's a like a hippie farm shop, and with a living space as well. And I play tested the bed where I put it, and that worked fine. And then when I was doing the landscaping, I didn't realise that um, the way I moved the plants um, under the foundations, that stopped them from going into the bed and using it. And then at that point, I'd already uploaded it to the gallery, and I would have re-uploaded it, but um, it moved in the seasons from summer, which is what was needed because there's a lot of gardening, to make it look good, to autumn, so all the plants are dead and it looks disgusting. So I didn't want to re-upload it with that. Um, so yeah, I might re-upload it once it reaches um, summer again in the build. I don't know if there's a cheat where you can change the season mid game, or is it ones that you're stuck? I've only just got seasons, so I don't fully know all the cheats for that. But yeah, I'll have to have a look into that, and if I can, I will re-upload it. And now I'm working on the living room. I actually end up swapping everything around. So the Murphy bed ends up going on the other side, the wall opposite. It just seemed to work better. And as you can see, I'm still struggling to get a working laundry basket. But yeah, um that ends up not happening at all. So yeah, it makes much more sense. I'm actually really happy with how the living room ended up, even though uh I couldn't fit in the laundry. It just seemed to work nicely as a living area and as a bedroom. I ended up decorating the showers and the Murphy bed, but I put a lot of the clutter I put was things like toiletries, because I figured if it is Dublin as your bedroom, that is where you would have your toiletries as well as in the bathroom, like yeah, face creams and perfumes and things like that. You can see now that I've swapped over the side, so the TV's on the kitchen wall, and then the bed is on the external wall. I think it worked much better. And then I put a desk in place of the washing machines. A desk and laptop I figured would be much more functional and beneficial to gameplay than uh, the washing machines would have. Even though I do like having laundry in the game. At first, when I found out that laundry day stuff that was a thing, I thought how sad to do laundry, but now it's one of my favorite packs, and I use things from it all the time. I love the wicker stuff. Um, and then having like things that your Sims need to do like as a task, I find really improves gameplay. It just um makes it much better. And then now I'm looking at this, I'm just remembering in a recent build I've actually forgotten to do a fire alarm, so I'll have to put that in. I do be forgetting the fire alarms and the bins all the time, and I've been finding that when I've been putting outside bins outside, they've not been counting. So I found like that's something that I don't always play test, because if it's like accessible, I don't think about it because it's a bin and it's outside, so yeah, it's going to count as your outside bin. But when I've gone to play test it, it's not worked at all. So that's something I have to keep an eye on and make sure I'm using the right bins. Yeah, I like I said, I do try and play test all my builds, but I have been missing a couple of things. And as you can see, there is a small dining table, but I thought, seeing as it's only small, it would be better to have um, a separate desk for a laptop instead of having them use the laptop there. I think I've said in other builds that it's really useful to have a laptop. So I do try and include a laptop or a PC to make sure that there's so much functions that your Sims can do from it. So I even like in the Dakota Johnson house build that I did, even though there wasn't a in the any of the pictures I saw, there wasn't a computer or a TV. I decided that it would have been beneficial to actually put it in for your Sims. So that's why I did that. And now I'm doing some cluttering in the living area. I think the rest of it now is just cluttering. I tend to I noticed that my bills are quite different to um, other Sims builders that I follow on YouTube, in that they tend to do like a full room and like plan out the key items and then clutter it. Whereas I tend to plan out the whole house with the key items, so like your sofa, your bed, your chairs, and then go around and clutter it. So I hope that's not too um disorientating for watching in a video as to why I'm going back and doing these different things. But um I find that that helps. I used to be a kitchen designer, so that's just how I used to design my kitchens, in that I would work out the layout and the functionality of it, and then work on decorating, because obviously you don't want to be working out design and decorate and then finding out it doesn't work properly. So yeah, that's how I used to design my kitchens, and that's now how I design my builds in The Sims. So yeah, it's a bit of a hard habit to break. It's just how I'm used to doing any sort of CAD building, and yeah, I'm gonna stay unless it's really really distracting and disorientating to jumping back to different rooms, but it works best for me. I'll have a think about possibly editing it so that it looks like I'm working in the same room continuously. But I jump back and forth so many times, I don't know if that's going to get messy, and I'm going to get lost when I'm editing it and putting the clips together. But yeah, I'll have a think and I'll see if there's any up and coming ones where I can do that. I've got a few builds that I am really excited to share. So I've got an A-frame cabin in Granite Falls. I've got a shipping container home, and like I said, the hippie farm and shop, which that's the one I'm most excited about. I love that one, and I love looking at it, and I've actually carried on a bit of gameplay in it, which I haven't done any gameplay in a long time. I've just been doing builds, but yeah, so I'm excited to share those with you. I just need to edit the videos and do my voiceovers. So yeah, please do say if you actually don't like my voiceovers, because that will make it a lot easier for me if I don't have to do them. Like I said, I prefer listening to them when I'm watching a speed build. I tend to skip ones that are just music. Um, but if you really don't like listening to me talk, then I'm more than happy to skip doing the voiceover altogether. I think I'm going to wrap up now, because there isn't much other than just cluttering and landscaping, and yeah, and the landscaping is pretty not boring but repetitive again, because it is just the lake and doing the rocks and the plants around the lake, and then plotting a sort of gardening area. So I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for putting up with my rambling and my and yeah and whatever other filler noises that I use, because I'm so terrible at these voiceovers. The build's on the gallery and I'll link it down below. But yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you in my next build, which will hopefully be up a bit sooner than this one was. Bye!